All right, well, it is 6:30, and that was the time Core told me that we are going to officially start this part. My name is Chris Lenoir. I'm the president of the board here at Brattleboro Community Television. I want to formally welcome you all to the Producer Awards night here at 118 Elliott, our second year in a row here. Let's give a round of applause to get things going. And just to start off here, I do want to acknowledge all the fellow board members who are here with me. Martin Langeveld, if you would just wave, Martin. And Pauline Dean, who is up at the front. You have Cassandra Holloway over there in the lovely kimono. And you have Jim Verzino lurking around somewhere. He's over the table. And then Alex Beck here as well. Where are you, Alex? Alex is really the man who helped put this whole evening together. So a quick round of applause for Alex Beck here and all the planning he did. This has been great. And we have two board members who are rotating off, Chantalee Gander, who I don't see here right now, and Lynn Barrett, who is here. I see Lynn right there, and I know that later on there's going to be more there, but I just wanted to say that their contributions to Brattleboro Community Television has been appreciated on behalf of the rest of us at the board here, and also put in a plug to say with two board members now gone, we are looking for more board members, so you can come and talk to myself or another board member if you're interested in getting involved. We talked a lot about the business of Brattleboro Community Television and how we're trying to keep it vital and even help it grow back in September at the annual meeting. And that was the first time that we had split up the annual meeting from the Producer Awards, at least since I've been involved at Brattleboro Community Television. And part of the reason to do that was so we could be more mindful to talk about things that we wanted to do and ways we wanted to take Brattleboro Community Television from that standpoint. But more importantly, that meant that we could focus tonight on all of you, the producers, the award winners, and all the people who provide such great content for Brattleboro Community Television, for the television channels, and for the website, brattleboro.tv.org. Ooh, if I get closer to this mic, I get real deep in it. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, all right. Should I just start over then? Because now, okay. Anyway. Plenty more chairs up front. I'm not breaking watermelons or throwing tomatoes. There's no splash zone to worry about here. More watermelon, all right. I also want to acknowledge the Brattleboro Community Television crew. Obviously, all of you out there as producers, whether you're field producers or volunteers, without Core and Roland and Vlasta and the newest member, Nolan, hopefully everybody has a chance to meet Nolan, none of this would be possible. Fantastic crew. It's been an honor for me to get to know them. And really, that's all I wanted to do was welcome everybody here. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the clips. I'm looking forward to hearing your acceptance speeches. And I'm looking forward to celebrate. So let's get this show going. Core Trowbridge, our executive director, everybody.
All right. My name is Core Trowbridge. I'm the executive director here at Brattleboro Community Television, and it is great to see you here, and welcome to the Producer Awards Night 2017. We are turning off the slideshow. Okay. I know. Don't be sad. It's not that bad. I heard that. As Chris said, we met in September and we had our annual meeting and really kind of did a deep dive into some various things about the organization. And I am presenting a much shortened version of that just to bring you all up to date on some of the latest happenings at BCTV. And with no further ado, I'm going to just dive right in. As Chris said, we have a very dedicated BCTV staff. And we have our 4 full-time staff here. Nolan Edgar right there is content manager. And Roland Boyden here, production manager. And Vlasta Popelka is way in the back, operations manager. And they are the backbone of the organization. We also have an ever-growing field staff here, as you can see from this unprecedented staff photo. Never before. We got everyone but Esler in it. So that is Janice Shalou, Ian Keel, Rich Mellinson, Frederick Noyes, Esler, and M. Richards. And they're all here. Anybody wants to stand up and say hi? There they are. And these are the people who are traveling off to Jamaica in the middle of the night to tape yet another Leland and Gray Act 46 meeting. So we really rely on the staff and been thrilled to have them all. Also in the corner, I have our IT guy, Tom Woodbury. As you all know, you can't run a shop without an IT guy. So just have to include him in there. We have programming sponsors who underwrite our programming throughout the year, and we really couldn't do what we do without them. We also have some event sponsors tonight. The food is by Hazel, and Tavernier Chocolates has given us chocolates for tonight. Where are those, Alex? What? At intermission, we're going to have them. Okay, fantastic. Things are changing every minute. We also have a new sponsor this year for our People's Choice Award is Mondo Media Works, who many of you know, a digital marketing agency based right here in Brattleboro. Is anyone from Mondo here? There we go. Thank you. And they've made possible a cash prize for that, and so that makes it even more special. I am organizing what I'm saying according to the goals and priorities that we set in a strategic plan. As you all know, every organization does strategic planning, and BCTV is no different, except for that the planning that we do involves the public. So we do a kind of a year-long community needs assessment every 5 years. We ask the people in the community what they want from a community media center like ours and what they need, and then we sort of organize ourselves according to those main goals. And the ones that have been identified for the period that we're in right now is to increase the amount of high-quality original content that we're producing and facilitating the production of. Achieve technological parity. This is mainly in regard to the web and the channel, so that we are not in a digital Siberia, as they say. Diversify our producer base by getting different tools that attract different kinds of producers. Not everybody wants to use the same kind of camera. And build engagement in any way we can. And build visibility and build awareness of what BCTV does. A lot of people are aware of our programming. Not a whole lot of people are aware that you make the programming. So that's a challenge. In terms of content, we had a huge milestone this year when our production of The Strolling of the Heifers went live on network television on Vermont PBS's main channel. So, I know. So we had our iconic Brattleboro event went live to viewers from Montreal to the Adirondacks, all the way through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Western Mass. And so that was a really big moment. And here we are standing by the satellite truck, feeling pretty pleased with ourselves. We also had a nice milestone of winning a National Media Award by our summer video campers who get together for a week and produce a movie. And this year they produced one using Minecraft. Those of you who are familiar with Minecraft will recognize the background. And video and stop motion animation. And these kids are 9, 10, 11, and 12 doing this work. And doing this and stop motion animation is very low tech. So combining all these different kinds of media and technologies is what they won the award for. What did it add up to this year? 1,500 new local shows. You can see how it breaks up between Channel 8 and Channel 10 there. Channel 8 has more longer shows. Channel 10, which is our government channel, has fewer but longer shows. More shorter shows, fewer longer shows. That's hard to say. Anyway, both up 20% from last year. And in terms of hours, 1,200 hours of original content. And that's how it breaks down by channel, again, up from last year. In terms of views, our YouTube channel gets about 300 views a day, our website 200 a day, and I have lots of fun statistics in the annual report, which is in the back. I used to go through all of them. Feel yourself lucky. Another number that we wanted to celebrate is that Energy Week, which has been running for, George, how many years? 4 years, celebrated its 200th episode. And this is a weekly show that they are so dedicated to their weekly production that even when we have something in the studio, we say, George, Tom, I'm sorry, we have to do something else at your time, they will set it up in the select board room and do the show. I mean, have you guys done it in the parking lot yet? No? Okay, that's next. Right. Anyway, so huge dedication, and they have a lot of viewers to show for that. In terms of technical parity, again, what I'm talking about is we are trying to make our technology keep up with the current expectations, right? So when you watch a channel, you want our channel to look like everybody's channel. So even though we have standard definition channels, we invested in a new broadcast server, which simplifies our workflow, but it allows us to broadcast in standard definition at the same time we are streaming in high definition. So anybody who's watching online can watch it in full high def, depending on their connection. And then the minute that we get high definition channels, we can just flick a switch and that we're good to go. The other thing that this server allows is live streaming inputs to the channel. For instance, we are broadcasting this on Facebook Live right now, which I forgot to mention. We could be using that as an input going straight to our server and going live on the channel from that. So we don't have to have a connection. Yeah, that's a long story, but we do. Comcast, yeah. Comcast's not ready to give them to us yet, but it's going to come. Okay. And then I did make a home movie of Jeff and Roland installing the new server, which I am just going to treat you to. There's the old server.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Oh, yeah. They're big.
What would terabyte look like in 2006? Let's see.
There you
Put
go.
it on the bottom.
And that's the extent of my video making. In terms of new gear, as I said, we're trying to get different kinds of camera kits for different kinds of producers. We've got our first DSLR kit, which filmmakers are using. Here we have Esler checking it out with Roland. He's been one of our more active DSLR users. We also are able to use this kit for the news. Here's Nolan in the corner of Chris's old office, filming Green Mountain Mornings Tonight. And citizen journalists are also using this type of equipment. We replaced all of the iMacs in our editing room, and we added a third producer workstation, which is already in use full time. And here's a fun home movie that Roland made about that.
Here we are in BCTV's newly reimagined edit room. Brand new edit suite here, completely redesigned. Getting ready to make way for 4 brand new 5K iMacs to help our editing process in Premiere. We'll have one here, one here, one here, one here.
The other thing that we want to keep up with is our presence on the web. And as you all know from your own work, you have to redo your website every 3 years, basically, to just keep it looking current. So the new website that we launched in May is responsive on all devices. And that includes the producer interface, which means how you submit videos. Like if you're trying to submit a video to BCTV Online, it used to be you couldn't really do it on a tablet. Couldn't really, it was awkward. So now, and it's also been developed by a group of stations like ours, so those costs are shared, and we can get more out of it than we can put into it. I just wanted to escape here for a second and show it to you, so you know what I mean by responsive. So here it is in the desktop version. All right, a bunch of menus here, another menu over here, and then a bunch of carousels down below, right? But then if you bring it into the size of your phone, it becomes the same site, but just mobile friendly. So all the menus are there, and the carousels shrink down to the size of one. See that? So the whole thing is there, and for us, that's a significant improvement. Going back to here. All right. While we were rebooting the website, we decided why not take a look at our graphics. And this, again, is a way to try and tell the story of who we are visually. And this was our old logo we developed about 8 years ago, and it's very colorful and uses colors that are reminiscent of the color bars of old video. So, but then when we got it on the screen, onto the channel, which requires us to have no color, it kind of didn't translate quite as well. And then when we were trying to break it down into horizontal images, sort of lost some of what we were trying to do. So we took a new look, and we wanted our graphics to be techie but friendly, express our mission, the community conversation. We wanted to be heading more towards new media rather than backwards toward television, which is kind of becoming less pertinent, and something that translates without color so we could use it as a channel identifier. So here's our new logo, and uses very media colors. And again, you can see how this translates. If you're using this transparently in the corner, it translates just as well. We also cleaned up our message, our handle on social media, so that we became Brattleboro TV on all of these sites. And we also purchased the URL brattleboro.tv. So that redirects to our brattleboro.tv.org. So all of those are the same, so it just makes us easier to find, easier to brand, easier to have everything go all together. And Roland developed a new intro for our local programs that kind of brings all these things together, and this goes very fast, so don't blink. So that's going to be at the beginning of our local programs. And then at the end, we have an outro, which is a little bit longer. So again, we're trying to spread the word. We realized when we were doing our surveys that there's pretty low awareness of our online presence. So that's a kind of what we're trying to do, is get people to see all the different devices that you can watch BCTV on. Coming soon, what's next up? We're going to be working on getting online reservation software on our website, so people will be able to check out gear, sign up for the studio, sign up for the edit suites online. Again, investing in some more DSLR kits, trying to keep our camera kits, which are used so heavily, going, and experimenting a little bit more with Facebook Live for engagement. Next, and I'm almost at the end of my part. That's the end of the State of the Station part. But I do want to take a moment to talk about James Ben Slaben, who was a BCTV volunteer, very active, and died about a year ago, almost today. And I just want to take a second. Many of you were at his memorial, but just in case you didn't know him, he was around 2014, he showed up as kind of a daily presence at a number of downtown businesses and town offices, and he would check in and kind of volunteer, spread news, do whatever he could do. One day in the Municipal Center, he stumbled across Roland and Jeff in the studio, setting up the studio, and he was absolutely enthralled by the idea of being a video producer. So from then on, he was at every single select board meeting as a camera operator, every live event. He was everywhere. He was one of our downtown correspondents for our news show, and especially focusing on the police and fire department. So in 2015, we awarded him our Volunteer of the Year. And at his memorial, people from all walks of life spoke about his deep and powerful connections, to them, his positivity, his kindness. What he did for his own reasons. He didn't need to be thanked. He didn't want to be thanked. And Kate O'Connor said no one embodied Brattleboro more than James did. And they announced that the Chamber would be naming him 2016 Person of the Year. You may see lapel pins that has his trademark saying, "Enjoy your Vermont Day," around town. That's James. And I just wanted to take a minute to say how much we miss him. His enthusiasm, his passion for celebrating all that was good about the town, his determination to make things happen no matter what anyone said to him. And he really left a lasting mark on our station. And I have a few photos here.
Peter Shumlin is still governor. To all the veterans, happy Memorial Day. 545 Live, this is James Van Slavin.
And now I'm giving kind of the first award. It's in a different category. And this is an award that we give to board members who are leaving after a long tenure. Lynn, this is a hilarious photo of you from one of our open houses. Yeah. Lynn, if you would come up, that would be great. I know. Lynn, and I'm just going to play these photos of her, which every time I do this, I say I am not great. Joined the board in 2006 to fill a vacated seat, after which, you can watch her. Yeah. She was elected to 3 consecutive 3-year terms and now has to step down due to our darn bylaws.
We don't want to be against the AG.
Lynn was president of the board during a lengthy contract negotiations leading up to the signing of our contract with Comcast in 2010. You'll see a picture of her here signing something, and Ian Kill is filming the signing. This was a contract with the highest funding level that we'd ever had. The next year, she signed a contract with Southern Vermont Cable and added 5 towns to our service territory. Her background in PR and marketing helped build positive awareness about BCTV, and local content creation started to grow and hasn't stopped. I'm pressing play again. We relied on her design expertise to help launch BrattleBoroTV.org and our old logo almost 8 years ago, and this year she helped design a new logo and graphics to keep us looking like a contemporary media organization. She was involved in our HD studio renovation, and on screen she's acted as host for arts-related interviews, and I hope we'll continue to do so.
Absolutely.
The award that we're giving her is specially crafted for Lynn. Okay, it's a replica of the Tony Award, so it has the drama faces of laughing, crying, and angry, and those were all the faces during our contract negotiations.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to get that. And as for the winged horse on top, for years Lynn has proposed that we rename our producer awards the Peggies.
Yes. Peggy, for PEG, access.
Okay, so
Peggy.
PEG is a technical term for community television. It stands for Public Education Government, which is the kind of programming that we offer. I have resisted it because I didn't want to expend every year explaining what it was. And then this year she came up with a new idea to call these awards the Pegasus Awards, a form of PEG Access, okay, which is another way what we called. But the closest I came right now, I did get awards with wings on it, but Lynn, we handcrafted this for you. And I have to give the first Peggy Award to Lynn Barrett.
Gosh. I still like the Peggies. All I can say is thank you very much. I actually walked into BCTV, when was it? 2006? To say, you know, I used to work for CBS and I'd love to volunteer. Next thing you know, they grabbed me. And I was here for about how many years? 10 years, practically. And maybe I'll come back. Who knows? If you'll have me. But I've had a great time. The station is just improved so much. And everybody's just doing such a wonderful job. It's a great, great thing for this town and the area. So thank you.
That went better than I even imagined. Okay, so the next thing is that I am going to turn you over to Roland to do the awards. The first thing that we wanted to do is, I'm turning Roland over to Roland for the awards. That's what I'm doing. Okay, Roland Boyden.
Okay, so we're going to do a handful of awards, and then we are going to take an intermission for that chocolate that everybody heard about, and that will also be the last call for the bar. So I'll give you a heads up. I'll let you know when you can break for that. Have about 10 minutes to take a break, and then we'll come back for the last set of awards. So I have 7 awards to give out, and I'm really excited to hand them out, highlight some very specific achievements. But we also have a team of just absolutely exceptional volunteers that really deserve a gold statue every single year, but for obvious reasons, we don't hand out 30 gold statues every year individually, and so we have dubbed all of these producers our MVPs, or our most valuable producers, and that's where I want to start today because they mean so much to what we do here at BCTV. These are volunteers that do event videography, work in the studio, join us on our live productions, or some combination of all 3 of those. Really, what it means is if you're getting one of these awards, you've already got some gold statues in your past, or perhaps in the case of a few, have just started at BCTV, and so you might be in line for a gold statue next year, but your programming doesn't fall within the right fiscal year requirements yet. So, I want to really get some applause going for these guys, because they really are the heartbeat of BCTV. Every one of the people I'm about to list have gone above and beyond. So MVPs, I'm going to call your name, and we're going to put your name up here. If you can come up when we call your name, we've got a couple prizes. The obligatory BCTV flash drive. These are in high demand every year, so we bring them back. And this has got not only the brand new logo and branding, but cool little like James Bond gadget style flip switch here where you twist it sideways and get one. That's in the bowl here. And then we have got, this year, for the first time for all of our MVPs, we have got brand new media badges customized with your names on it. They are hanging here in alphabetical order by first name when you come up. So I'm going to call everybody up here, and when I do, please everybody else, give them some real applause, because they make BCTV what it is. Tim Arsenault, Marty Cohn, Karen Davis, Maria Dominguez, Tom Fennell, Peter Case, Joshua Gentili, Russ Graybeck, Cara Hamilton, George Harvey, Reggie Martell, Wendy Mason, Gay Maxwell, Kristen Malik, Aiden Mayer, Pete Millette, Mike Merwicki, Al New, Wendy O'Connell, Kip Tewksbury, Catherine Turnus, and Roland Wahlberg. Come on up, guys. All right. So, okay, so while we are gathering there, we are going to roll. We have a brand new outreach video that we put together this year, and this is a slightly different format for us. In years past, I've put together for this event a montage that includes at least 1 second of every single video produced in the previous year, which has made it pretty long, although it's a great showcase of what we do. But it means most really to the people that are already involved in BCTV and know what it's about. So this year, we decided to try and create a video that was a little shorter and was really targeted at people that maybe didn't know so much about BCTV and what we're all about and why we do what we do, and really use it as an outreach video. And we are going to debut that here. So let's, while these guys are getting set here, we will roll it. So, okay. And this showcases much of the work that all of these MVPs have done. So here we go. This is the story of BCTV, Brattleboro's very own TV station. That's right, there really is a TV station here in Brattleboro. Surprise! That's our building right there on Main Street next to the library. There's our offices and to our studio. And if you want to watch us, you can tune in on Channel 8, our public channel, or Channel 10, our government and education channel, on Comcast and Southern Vermont Cable from any of the towns we serve, which is, got a pen handy, Brattleboro, Vernon, Guilford, Dummerston, Putney, Newfane, Townsend, and Jamaica. Or you can find all our videos online at brattleboro.tv, which of course you can do from pretty much any town in the world, so I won't even try and list them all. And BCTV isn't some rinky-dink operation either. Every year we produce over 1,000 hours of new, completely non-commercial content, which is a lot when you think about it. Just to put that in perspective, you could watch every single season of Game of Thrones 20 times through before you could watch every local show produced at BCTV last year. So how do we do it? Well, unlike other TV stations, we're a community media center, also known as a public access station. So while we do have a small and extremely committed staff helping to produce some of our content, many of our shows come from people who live right here in the community. Meaning you could walk into BCTV today and start making videos that'll end up on TV. And because BCTV is, at its core, free speech television, you don't need to pitch us on your ideas to get it on. There's no boardroom of executives, no advertisers, no rating systems. Come in with your ideas and we can have you creating content in under an hour, offering you the video equipment and tech support you need along the way. So that's how it starts. People like you walk into the station with an idea. And once you've got the gear and the training, you can pick anything you want to record. Out in the community, our volunteers record plays, performances, arts content, author talks, lectures, screenings, and more. Well, up in our studio, they produce everything from talk shows to live music to news broadcasts and everything in between. And thanks to BCTV's newest technology, you don't even need a crew to do that. You can be the star of the show out on set while controlling everything with just the click of a mouse. And it's not just individuals. BCTV's wide array of partnerships generate a ton of content. Nonprofits use BCTV to help promote their missions. Academic institutions use BCTV Studio as a satellite classroom for their communications courses. Churches are able to reach all their parishioners, even if they can't make it to church, by broadcasting their services. And in the age of webcasting and teleconferencing, these partnerships aren't limited by geography anymore, as experts, authors, artists, and legislators can join BCTV via webcast from wherever they are. And what about BCTV's best-known programming, our select board meetings? Well, that's how we got our start 40 years ago as the first community station in Vermont. And in an area like this overflowing with civic engagement, BCTV staff covers select board meetings and town meetings in all 8 towns we serve, recording everything from the call to order to the final adjournment, or gavel-to-gavel coverage as we like to call it, providing residents with access to the inner workings of their towns and schools, while allowing boards to document and showcase the work they do on behalf of their communities. And for the area's biggest events, like graduations and parades, BCTV pulls out all the stops, providing live multi-camera coverage, even if it means bringing half our studio downtown with us. So where do you show up in that 1,000 hours? You appear during a public participation at every select board meeting. Is that you on lead vocals at open mic night? Is that you shooting video on your iPhone at your nonprofit's fundraiser? Hey, I know that guy. I bet you know her too, she writes for The Reformer. Hey, that's your old high school teacher. Whoa, did you just see that move? Hey, that's Andy Weir, he wrote The Martian. That's your grandmother's church, doesn't she watch that every Wednesday night? Is that your kid there? They just buried it from downtown! That's our state rep, I didn't know he played guitar. Wow, just listen to her voice. So there you go, just a few of the moments that make up the 1,000 hours of local programming at BCTV. And sure, on their own, some of those moments seem kinda all over the place. Random, quirky, opinionated, and you could argue that's what makes community TV great. But I also think if you pull back for a moment and consider those 1,000 hours as a whole, you'll start to see a larger pattern. It reflects the people who care deeply about this community and want to showcase it, even if it is in 1,000 different ways. That last shot is from Ian Keel, in case you were wondering. That's how he's asking. And he shot that by hiking one of our giant old Sony cameras up Wantasticate, I want to say 6 years ago, maybe.
That's a good camera.
Yeah, and we've used it ever since. So
I can't believe you chose that over some of your drone shots.
it's still just that nice slow zoom back that's perfect for kind of that concept of the montage of kind of going from the micro to the macro to the micro.
That has got to be the best montage I've ever seen.
Thanks. I'd use everybody's shots to make that work. All right, we are going to get into awards now without any further ado here. So we are going to start with our organizational and group awards, and then, as I mentioned, the intermission and the chocolate, and then we will go into our individual awards. So we are going to start with our Community Partner Award. We like to give this every year to an area business or organization that has really started utilizing BCTV both to serve their own mission, but also to create content on BCTV. And our award winners this year are Mitchell Giddings Fine Arts for MGFA Presents. Come on up to the front here. So just to give you the quick rundown of how we're going to do this, we're going to, when we call your name, come on up here. I'm going to say a few quick words and embarrass you while you're standing up here. And then we've got a quick clip of everything you've done so we can see a little, not everything, a short clip of what you've done. And then if you want to say a few words here. So Mitchell Giddings came to us over a year ago with an idea to get their artist talks on BCTV, utilizing the skills of Andy Reichsman, one-time BCTV executive director. And they have put together a fantastic series that just really, you'll see in a moment, but it is so in-depth. You really get inside the heads of the artists, seeing just how they do the creation they do. So let's take a look.
And the thing about it is, like, I could just do this, and it doesn't make any difference.
Went to college, studied art, to be an artist, make a start. Studied hard, gained my degree, but no one seemed to notice me.
Yeah, come on up to the stage here.
All right, well, I'll start because I have some prepared remarks. First of all, I'd like to thank the Academy. I've been hoping to do an Academy Award speech at some point in my life, but first of all, I want to say that working with these two wonderful community heroes who have given so much to the community with their gallery and bringing some terrific artists to us has been a real pleasure. They're just delightful. I also have had a wonderful opportunity to spend a lot of time in the editing room with all these artists and listen to their ideas and really have them soak into me, so that's been a pleasure. I want to tip my hat to the BCTV volunteers. This is what I do for a living. I've spent 30 plus years working and honing my skills. Most of the people who work at BCTV, they have another career. They come to BCTV after working all day and put the incredible amount of time that it takes to make a television show, and they do a great job. And BCTV is amazing. I was executive director, as Roland said, 25 years ago, and what has happened to this station is just literally unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe when I was here, our viewing area was Brattleboro. My son spoke at his high school graduation at BCTV, and friends of mine in California said, "Oh my gosh, I'd love to see that speech." Oh, go to BCTV online and watch my son. He's 10 minutes into the graduation. And all these people have seen it. I mean, we have a television station that goes around the world. So, and thank you very much to CORE and Vlasta and Roland for all the work they do for BCTV.
Thank you all for the support. Our mission really is just to spread the artwork, spread the beauty that comes into our gallery to as wide an audience as we can. We're lucky to work with such good artists, and we're really fortunate to be working with Andy and with BCTV. Thank you all.
To get up taller. Great. This is a really new venue for me, but it's been really wonderful understanding more about what BCTV does and working with Andy and the artists, but just knowing that we're sharing creativity and the goodness of what that does for in our lives, which we need badly right now and always. But I learned so much tonight about what I want to steep myself in further, to be able to share our creativity, because it's an important part of the goodness of our lives. So thank you.
And as you're having your walk-off music here, if you can go to the photo wall here and Nolan will take your picture, that would be great. So we want to document all of it. Okay. Our next award is our Municipal Partner Award. This is always a tough choice every year. Municipal meetings make up so much of what we do at BCTV, and we have so many great boards and committees that work with us to get their message out, to interact with their constituents, to bring their constituents into what they're doing, and then also to really document and showcase what they're doing as well. And this year, our award winners are the WSCSU Act 46 Study Committee. Come on up. So we've got a few members of the committee here. Just in case somebody has been living in a cave or under a rock, there's some drama going on with the Act 46 committee right now. So they've brought BCTV in to film all of their meetings front to back from the start, but they also undertook a really kind of unique project for a municipal committee, and that was to create a series of very short, creative, but really concise and digestible videos that tried to hit at some of the finer points of what's going on with this merger proposal. We've got a little clip to show you.
Greetings from the Act 46 Wyndham Southeast Supervisory Study Committee. Our study committee has been meeting to figure out how best to prepare for the future of education in our towns.
The WSCSU had 3,080 students. In 2016, we had 2,390 students.
The study committee felt so strongly about the importance of keeping small schools open that we incorporated special language into the Articles of Agreement to address the issue.
We hope this presentation has helped you understand how far we've come. Act 46 information is available on the WSCSU website. Thank you very much.
So the really fun thing to know is that we didn't do very well on producing that. I think really Roland put that together. We knew that folks, I tell people if they really can't sleep at night, that's the Act 46 Study Committee. It's all there on BCTV. Go watch. I mean, it goes on for over 2 years. By the way, the vote's on Tuesday, so then you'll stop hearing at least about a vote that's coming up. So we took the idea to Roland. We had written some things out, and he made it into something that's understandable and much more concise than what we might have started with. So I think almost the award goes to him, quite honestly.
And I just want to thank the folks that come and film these meetings for us. They are long meetings. Sometimes they're contentious meetings. And Rich has been at most of our Act 46 study committee meetings, and that's been a wonderful thing to have him there to film it. And I'm surprised by every day I have people stop me on the street and thank me for being part of the committee, but also talking about stuff that they need to know about. And they watched it on BCTV because getting out to meetings is hard. So thank you very much to BCTV and for making this happen for us. Thank you.
We get to hear this. And we have this music queued up for the same joke 6 more times, so get ready for it. That's right. And Rich is actually at an Act 46 meeting tonight filming one. That's why he couldn't be here, so I'm part of it all. All right, one more word, and then we're going to go into the intermission. This is one of my favorite awards to give out every year. It's our Nonprofit Member of the Year. Nonprofits make up such a big part of what we do here at BCTV. Obviously a key part of the area as well. So again, it's always a tough decision for us. But this year, our nonprofit member winners are the Guilford Community Church. So the Guilford Community Church has been working to get their services on BCTV in some capacity for years, and this is really a tribute to perseverance. They've tried doing some webcasting, some camcorder work, and now with the help of our producer Jerry Delmonico, they've got their services on, and it's been so fun to see it come together. It's such a great community you have there, the music, the folks that you have show up, the sense of togetherness. So it's been really fun to see it all gel.
Promise to answer.
Welcome if you are visiting. Welcome if you've been here every Sunday forever.
Angel down. God sent an angel down. God sent an angel down. Oh God, He sent an angel down. Oh God, He sent an angel down.
We are not your grandmother's church.
There are so many benefits from having the service filmed. I watch a bunch of services. I go on YouTube to find choir songs. I'm Peter Ramadan, one of the choir directors, and so YouTube is a great and a lot of them are from church services. And any church that's anywhere close to our size is just. It's just the camera's sitting there and it's really useful, but it's not engaging. And Jerry Delmonico's done a great job of making the service feel really live, like you're really there with panning and all those other words that I don't know what they are, but he goes to where it's happening and it makes it really come to life. And I've been pulling some of the songs out from the services and putting them up separately on YouTube, and Roland and Jerry have helped a lot with that. So, but I want to just say what it's about. There are a lot of people who benefit from this when they're traveling or if they've missed a service, but the main thing, it's about accessibility. It's about accessibility, about people who cannot come to church, who are members of our church, and they cannot get out of their houses, and it has a very, very deep meaning for them. So thanks a lot to everybody. Thank you.
On to the second half of our awards here. These are our individual awards, and I'm going to start with our Volunteer of the Year. So I talked a little bit during the MVP section about how critical to BCTV our volunteers are. So again, it's always a difficult decision to pick out amongst our volunteers, but we're doing something a little bit different this year. We're going to highlight a couple of our interns, and in the last couple of years, our intern community has become increasingly important at BCTV, and we've really been blessed with the intern gods above with some absolutely fantastic interns that have really kind of changed what we can and can't do at BCTV by adding their support. So we've got 2 interns that we are going to award today for our volunteer awards, Ben Soman and Jane Fenstermacher, and I believe Chris is going to accept their award because they can't be here today, and I'll explain why Chris is here to accept their award. So give him and Jane and Ben a round of applause here. So Ben Soman was a Landmark College student who found out about us through being part of our partnership with Landmark College, and in the summer of 2016 came to us around the same time that Jane came to us. She's a BYHS student asking about internships, and we at that point in time had been trying to figure out how to relaunch our local news show. And they got in on the ground floor with us and really helped us develop a concept where we went to WKBT and filmed Chris's conversations that he had twice a week with members of local media from the Reformer, the Commons, and Vermont Digger. And they became really the driving force behind kickstarting this show. And as interns are wont to do, they come and go. They've since moved on to other things, but we continue to do the show even now, with Chris off to a new job as well, and Olga has stepped in, so their work has lasted, and that show is still going on. So, yes, I'll turn it over to Chris here. Actually, I should roll the clip first. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if I can get a clip going.
Well, I think I only got to meet Jane the one time when she came and was scouting it out, because she was behind the scenes taking all the footage from the stories that I'd be talking to members of the Commons and the Brattleboro Reformer about, and then watching it come to life either on the television channels or on BrattleboroTV.org or on the social media pages. But Ben, being in the studio and just his energy, his creativity, he really did a lot to try and make it a visual medium, even though we were doing radio. And I was always amazed at his energy and the things he brought to that. And just the way it increased the exposure for the show was amazing. I know Chris Mays, who we saw there talking about it one time, told me he was getting a coffee at the Dunkin' Donuts on Putney Road, and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, I watched you on BCTV." And to know that everybody out there was just using that medium to stay informed about what's happening in the community was really meaningful. And yeah, all the credit to Ben and Jane and everybody at BCTV. So I'm very honored to accept this award on Ben and Jane's behalf.
Two more times for that music joke. That's right. Better every time. All right. That's okay. There we go. That's what we really need to do. All right. Now we are on to our new producer of the year. So we try and recognize every year a new producer who's come in and started a show, because it can be tough to come into BCTV and just put yourself out there and do something new and get it rolling and keep it rolling. And so we're just so excited to announce this year's winner, Chard Denord. So Chard has produced in the last year not one but two different series with the goal of getting poetry, and specifically Vermont poets and their work out where people can find it, both on TV and online. So he's created a half-hour series, Poet Speak, where he sits down and talks with poets from around Vermont, and not only taken on the really difficult work of being an interviewer and being prepared to talk and have a conversation and talk about what makes poetry what it is, but also simultaneously be doing all of the technical pieces of it, something he's jumped into head first, where he's switching all the cameras and getting everything lined up that way. And that's been really fun to see him fit all that together and do both of those roles simultaneously. And then also he's created sort of on the other end of the spectrum, a great short series called You Come Too, which is a poetry almanac of sorts, where he reads poetry works from Vermont poets. And it's set to the terrific artwork of Brian Cohen and Eric Aho. So take a quick look here.
I'm interested in celebrating our state's rich poetic legacy, as well as its abundance of living poets who are carrying on the poetic tradition that dates back to Robert Frost and before. Thank you, Roland. I love the spirit of this station. It's made me feel welcome immediately. What Roland didn't tell you that it actually took me about a year to warm up to all the technology before I dared sit behind that desk and start talking. I'm honored, tremendously honored, and happy to receive, and also flabbergasted to receive this. I've never done any television work before, as you probably know. A lot of poets just like to hide in the open and without sort of saying who they are. So it's been great to have these poets. You know, Vermont does have such a wonderful poetic tradition, starting with Robert Frost and so many poets just living in every corner of the state, from Galway Cannell, who lived up in Sheffield, to Ellen Bryant Voigt, to Louise Gluck, to Grace Paley, who lived in Thetford, and just to bring young poets to this table and to present this new series, You Come To, of reading the poetry, of reading poetry, the news that stays news to Vermont citizens. It's just been a really wonderful honor for me. And so I want to thank Roland, who makes me look so much better than I am. You're not seeing all the stuff he takes out. And Cor, who was just immediately open to this idea. I just suggested this idea, and I think she made a few suggestions, but immediately open to doing this. And of course, Vlasta, who keeps me in line with grace and efficiency. So thank you all here at BCTV.
Gotta get that photo. All right, and with that, we are on to Producer of the Year. We have so many terrific producers. You've seen all of their work on our highlight reel here. But this producer, our winner this year, is one of our most prolific. He produced over 70 different shows this year. Please welcome Jerry Delmonico. See, you heard a little bit about Jerry's exploits getting the church service going, but he has 2 other series. So he does a cooking show at the Brattleboro Food Co-op with Donna, the Day Kitchen Demos. And he also does a series, I like to think of it as kind of a slice of life series called It Happens in Brattleboro, where he just goes around telling the little stories that nobody's told before with just kind of showing you things you might not think about until you get in there and see how shops run their shops the way they do, or how people put on the events they do in town and things like that. And it's been great to see all these episodes, so we'll roll the clip.
What we do is we wrap bricks in sterile foil, and then we bake them, and then we put them in the bottom of the cooler, and then we stack the tacos on top.
The beet powder is for dyeing the pancake batter.
When I'm shopping, I'm always looking for the deals and the basics.
Well, I always found acceptance speeches to be boring. So I told Cora I was going to tell some jokes tonight, and she steered me away from that. Well, I may tell one. All right. Anyhow. Oh, excuse me. So Roland made a comment, 68 videos in 52 weeks. Time to take a rest. Usually I'm on the other side of the podium with the camera, so today I feel like I'm a little nervous. Anyhow, I want to start with Lester Dunkley. If you know who he is, he's got a machine shop on Flat Street, and I did a video on him. That's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight. I did a video on him about a year ago. And just recently, it got 6,800 hits. And normally when I do a video, I get 25, 35. The most I ever had was 300. So Lester's got 6,800. Lester, okay. So go and see him. He's really cool. If you know where the machine shop is, go park there. Go, Lester, how you doing? And I invited him here tonight, but he's like, where's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't like the spotlight. And he made it, I think, an excuse to not come tonight because he doesn't want to be around all this stuff. But he's really a cool guy, and I like him. And if you watch the video, it's called Lester Dunkley's Machine Shop. And it's really cool. And it smells like a machine shop. It's like almost as good as spaghetti and meatballs. It's like, anyhow, Lester was taking me around, showing me all the stuff he's got, and the machines that punch holes. And he had this machine that punched. Watch this. He said, it's a 1/2-inch piece of steel. So I'm going to punch a hole in it. Boom. He says, I'm going to punch another hole in it. Boom. And he held it up. I said, Lester, this would make a great Halloween mask. So I brought that with me. I had to bring one prop tonight. Anyhow, I said, you got 6,800 hits. What does that mean to you? And he says, well, people from all over the country are calling me going, you got a cool machine shop, man. You're cool. So, Lester, I'm happy for you, all right? Made your day, made my day. All right. The second one is the Brattleboro Food Co-op, and they're a great sponsor for BCTV. And I do a mini-series called The Day Kitchen Demos with Donna, the demo diva. And she was here tonight with her significant other, but they had to leave because I wanted her to stand up so you could see that, what is she? She's, what is it here? She is, wait a minute, it's here. I can't find it. All right. So anyhow, I go in and I start to do the series. She's got her set up all ready to go, her kitchen and everything. And I hit the record button on the tablet. I use a tablet. And I say, Donna, what's going on today? And she starts talking. And she doesn't stop talking. And I'm going, the tablet's getting hot. I said, I got to turn it off, Donna. Can we wait a minute? Oh, yeah, no problem. So when it cools down, we start again. And then the last one we did, she's making pumpkin, some kind of a pumpkin thing, a casserole. And she opens the toaster oven door, and I'm going, Donna, what are you taking out of the toaster oven? And she goes, a casserole dish. And I said, well, I know it's a casserole dish. What's inside the casserole dish? And she goes, oh, it's the pumpkin stuff. So we go back and forth like Abbott and Costello, and it's kind of fun to do her. So anyhow, she makes life easy. She just is a little hard on my tablet. All right, let's see. I was going to tell a joke, but we're running late here tonight. All right. The next one is the Guilford Community Church. I was raised by Dominicans in a strict Catholic religion, and it was great for me. My mother especially wanted me to go to the best schools. Well, okay, I thought that was pretty cool until I went to the Guilford Community Church to start filming. And I learned that the people in this church are the most wonderful people I've ever met. They're all kind. You met a couple of them here tonight, two of the kindest people I've ever met. And the congregation is friendly. And if you can, every Sunday at 10 a.m. till 11 or 11:15, go there. Go see it. It's incredible. and Peter does the choir, they're like, it's worth it just to go listen to the choir, because everybody in the choir plays a musical instrument. They just don't read music out of a book. And it's all right, the last thing I want to say about that is I was getting ready, setting up my camera to do videotape of the ceremony one Sunday, and a lady comes up to me from the congregation and she says, "Do you know so-and-so?" And I said, "No, I don't know that person." And she said, "Well, she's a 100-year-old lady that lives in a nursing home that was active in this church for ages, and she can't get here anymore because she's old. But she knows that you videotape it and you put it on Channel 8 twice a week on Sunday and Wednesday. So she tells the nurse in the nursing home, could you please DVR Channel 8 at such and such a time, so when it's convenient for me, I can come down and watch the ceremony." And for me, if a 100-year-old lady is doing that, it's like, that's what I'm doing BCTV for that. So, yeah. Right. The last thing is remembering Stanley Lind. And if you guys are familiar with it was Lind Motor Sports down at the end of Flat Street. And I did a video about a year ago, and now it's starting to get a lot of hits because Stanley was in a motorcycle accident recently and he passed away. And people are starting to look actually on the BCTV homepage. They have Remembering Stanley Lind, and they have a couple of videos. One of them is one I did. Anyhow, the interesting thing about Stanley's is that if you drive by in the middle of the summer when he was going strong with his shop, you see a lot of guys on Harleys sitting on their Harleys outside, and they got tattoos. I'm not knocking it. They got tattoos, they got long hair, they got Harley Davidson all over the place. And they're hard-looking guys. And you think this place is for hard guys. But if you walk up and talk to them, they're pussycats. They're gentle people, and they'll help you. So yeah, it is a hangout, but it's not for hard guys, it's for pussycats. Anyhow, Stan would give you his whole shop plus the shirt off his back if he knew you needed it. That's the kind of guy he was if you ever went to talk to him. And when I did the video, we were talking about 48 Fords and Cushman Eagles and all this old stuff. And his wife came in, and he gives her a kiss. And she says, I came here to get Nellie the dog to take her home for lunch. And okay, and it's completely different inside. He's a really warm guy. It's a really cool video to learn that these Harley guys aren't really tough, and this is not a tough motorcycle shop. It's a really kind of a nice place in the community. And, my memory will stay, his memory will stay with me forever because he's just such a great guy. And, all right, I just want to end up. I'm not going to tell the jokes because everybody's they're tapping their watches to make sure that secondhand is still working. I'm going to close with some words that my dad used to say when I was younger, and I never understood them till I got older. And this is for everybody in the room. And the words are, I'm much obliged. Okay? Thank you very much.
All right, we've got one last individual award before we unveil, and we're all on the edge of your seats waiting for the People's Choice Award winner. But first, one of my favorite awards to give out every year, our Series of the Year award. Series, so important to what we do at BCTV. And producing a series where you come back time and time again and create content is really kind of the backbone of creating a show that can pick up traction and get people involved and get people excited. And that's exactly what's happened with this latest show that we're honoring tonight. Please put your hands together for Derek Jordan for the World Fusion Show. Come on up. So Derek has actually been working on this show for over a year, but they've only just started releasing shows this year. So they got a lot of shows in the can working. He has a terrific team working with him, Wyatt Andrews, Esler Areste, and Al Stockwell. Al does the sound for him, doing a lot of complicated stuff. But it's been great for us to see Derek has worked so hard to bring in just such an array of different guests and musicians. And they perform together, but they also just sit down and talk together. And I'm always amazed at the energy Derek brings to the interviews and the excitement that he has each and every episode to talk with the folks. So let's take a look at the clip here.
Suddenly it's a thing. Yeah. Suddenly it's a tradition.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roland. BCTV is amazing. And I have to say, you guys are so professional. You're so efficient. You're so helpful. It's just incredible. And we should all give them a... So I want to get Esler up here because he's our new video producer. Wyatt Andrews had to leave, and Al Stockwell is probably hanging out with his family. But without these guys, I couldn't do it. There's no way. I mean, I'm a musician. I never thought I would be the host of a TV show. It never crossed my mind. But a couple years ago, I realized, I know a lot of people. I know my subject really well. And, all I need is some help, really, with production, sound, someone to run and record the sound. And, I could probably put something together. And it's been really great. And Rowan tells me we now have 20 stations. We've only been on the air 4 months. 20 stations have picked up the show around Vermont and Massachusetts. And it's growing much faster than we expected. So I'm just really grateful for that and what's happening with it all. I've got amazing musicians. I've got a whole line of them coming up. Tomorrow we're going to shoot 3 shows in one session. It's crazy. We're going to shoot a guy from, it won't be on for a month or whatever, but we're going to shoot this guy, Dale Stuckenbrook from Long Island. He has a vegetable orchestra. That's right. He carves instruments out of vegetables and plays them with kids and people and whoever will do it. But he's also has a doctorate in violin. I mean, he's a virtuoso violinist, okay? He also plays musical saw, theremin, if you know what that is. When the UFOs come down in the movie, it's the theremin. That's what you're hearing. He plays erhu, Chinese fiddle. He plays dan bao, which I never heard of, a Vietnamese instrument. Guy's amazing. Oh, sitar. I don't know. He probably plays 10 other things. Anyway, we're doing our first Skype interview, yes, with Dale tomorrow. And that's great because now I can interview my friends in Africa, in other places that I know. And we can our people in New York who don't want to make the trip up here. Anyway, that's the plan. And we're shooting also tomorrow Massamba Joe. Massamba Joe is one of the top talking drum players in Senegal. He is a superstar, has played in, I asked him to list the countries he played in. He just kept going. It's just like every country in the world. He's played with Baba Mal for 40 years. Anyway, he's been here. He's a good friend. I play with him a lot He's coming on the show tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Anyway, please, if you haven't seen it, check out the show. It's also a podcast now on iTunes and SoundCloud. So if you can't watch it, you can listen. So anyway, Ezra, you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Come on.
So I'll say this really quick. So last year I got the Producer of the Year, and that was really cool. Then in my head I was like, next year I want to get Best Series of the Year, and I worked really hard on my show, but I ended up getting it with this other awesome show, which is great. And if you haven't seen the World Fishing Show, you are on for a treat. Like, this is an amazing show. I'm so blessed to just be on the back listening to these great musicians. The other day, there was these three brothers. What were their names?
They were best.
Oh my God, they were so good. I went outside to go to the bathroom before the session started, and they were serenading this, I think it was like 5th graders outside of BCTV, and it's that kind of talent that we're bringing into Brattleboro, like amazing talent. So if you haven't checked out the World Fishing Show, go online, check it out. Rate it on iTunes and all the other places, because it's an amazing podcast just to listen to it. But then visually is amazing too. So anyways, I'm so thankful that you're bringing this kind of musicians into our town. Thank you.
So glad you're with us.
That's totally going to be my ringtone. So award winners, please stick around because we want to take a group photo afterwards. Roland, amazing job on the awards. Amazing. All those clips, just incredible. Yeah. And I also want to thank Nolan for the slideshow that you saw at the beginning of the presentation. All those photos, candids, behind the scenes. It's a really great job, too. Now it is time for me to just tell briefly how we got to the People's Choice Award. And then we're going to hand it out. This was a new idea that we got from the Springfield station, and they said people really loved it, so I thought, why not? Let's give it a try. So we just took the top viewed videos from our YouTube channel or from the other YouTube channels that we're sort of associated with, and we just cut it down to the ones done by community producers, and then we just put it online for people to vote, and we got about 150 votes, which I thought was great. Honestly, that was wonderful for me, so we're gonna roll a clip.
Got the slide first of the other.
Oh yeah, right. We want to acknowledge the other top viewed videos that were in the sort of the top 15. Just to show you what kind of programming is getting views on BCTV: Strolling of the Heifers, Landmark College Commencement, the Brattleboro Town School Board, Wyndham Grows Bernie, Rock Voices, Jeff Mastrioni, Ukulele Flash Mob, that's by Maria, Act 46 FAQs, and the Calvary Chapel service. So that's pretty great for all those shows. So the top 5 that we voted on were
I have tremendous respect for the vision of education that you follow and realize, a family of seekers and doers that you prepare for this incredible moment of life on earth.
A lot of his political support comes from people who he is kicking in the face, literally. The part of his support that comes from the disillusioned, angry, desperate white working class, and they have a lot to be angry about.
We're at Lester Dunkley's famous machine shop in Brattleboro, and sitting right across from me is Lester. Lester, how you doing today?
Good.
Whoa! It's like a Halloween mask now.
Right. Now, it's a Halloween mask.
How about those among us who are a little on the timid side? How do you coach them, encourage?
People with anxiety want confidence. They want to know how things are going to turn out. And confidence is a really bad idea. You're not going to learn anything if you must simultaneously be confident.
Yeah, it's you and me, and the bottle makes free tonight. Hey, bartender, give me a drink. What do you mean it's last call? I just got here.
So you can see it's a really wide range from famous people that are either coming to Brattleboro in our area and getting a lot of hits because of that, or because of the amount of people involved in the production. There's a whole bunch of different reasons. I also noticed that the votes really went up every time a producer shared and promoted them. So that really works. And again, the voting was very close, so we've got a winner, but we really thank everybody for being part of it. Are you announcing this?
I can announce
Okay.
it. Drum, let's do a virtual drum roll. And the winner is Catherine Turnus with Artist a la Mode Wild Nights. Come on up, Kim. You're taking this on. Yeah.
I need to never get old.
Well, KT couldn't be here tonight, and she started producing the show, God, over 10 years ago. And she just wanted me to make sure I thanked Roland and all the other camera people at BCTV, Kip and Maria and Emily, who I just go in and the energy is so high and get to interview artists and musicians. But KT, she's at home, she had knee surgery, she's gonna be so psyched. And I'll let her sister say something, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, right. This means the world to her. I can't even tell you. It's so important to her. It's been her life, and she loves it so much. So thank you so much, and it's going to help her recover, I think. So thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of the Wild Nights Band, I'm Freight Train, the drummer. There's Michael McKinney, a local boy. Jeff Brewer, a local boy. Matthew Martin, a local boy. Tony Speranza, a local boy. And Tony Speranza Jr., another local boy. I'm just very honored and blessed. Two quick things. Being the drummer, your new intro and outro are awesome. Nice drums on the intro and bass and drums on the outro. And one thing I didn't hear or kind of heard, being in the studio at BCTV, it's very warm and comfortable there. I mean, everybody welcomes you. The studio itself is just amazing, very comfortable to work in, broadcast in. And this guy here and all the staff are just amazing. And it's been a pleasure, and hopefully Artist a la Mode will be coming up again soon, and we'll be around.
Well, KT will be back. She's already gearing up for another show, but really, BCTV is really wonderful, and to have local artists and musicians, we need that on the airways. It's really healing. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Go KT.
Sorry,
I didn't put the one joke short.
Sorry, guys. And that is the end of our program. I wanted to thank Vlasta and Alex again for all their hard work in putting together this event, and for the board, everybody who volunteered, and all of you for coming. It was a really great night. We had a great time, and I need all of the awardees to please come over here to the photo area so we can take one group photo. Is there anything else?
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate it, everybody.